Nathan, dude, this is exciting because for the first time ever, we have official information and video of the upcoming what?
Raptor R.
Absolutely, dude. Just a few days ago, our colleague Tommy was at the event in California.
Yep.
At the Bronco Raptor, which you can see many videos at alltfl.com.
Right.
And what happened?
Well, out of the blue, Ford PR decided to bring out the Raptor R and announce that it will be a V8.
V8
We're
power.
going to say that at the same time.
Yes, I'm sorry.
1, 2, 3,
V8. You said out of the blue, but it's actually out of the gray. Or
brown.
Sorry. So how about this? We're going to let you watch this clip.
Yeah.
And here's the key. You got to listen.
Yeah, and then we'll come back and we'll talk.
All right. Yes, so it made 2 donuts basically in the sand.
That's right.
And let's just listen to this last one once again because I really want to.
Right, so listen for one particular thing. That, my friends, I am going to state my crappy reputation, is a supercharger. That was a supercharger wine, which indicates that this power plant could very well be the 5.2 liter
Yes,
V8.
that's been rumored for decades
Right.
at this point.
Well, pretty much,
Okay,
not decades,
years.
but
Okay.
a long time, which is found in what?
Also GT500 Mustang.
That's right, flat plane crank. I mean, we're talking about a vehicle that is built for high performance. Now, there's a lot more to this. So we can digest this information. I want you to think about the fact that Ford is fully aware of how powerful the Ram TRX is.
Yes.
And even though the displacement on this powertrain is a lot less, it still has the potential to put out a lot more power.
Yes, and so how about this? Let's look at this image because this is, I mean, we've seen spy videos from different, people, using their phones in a loud street.
Right.
So all of that was almost inconclusive, right? Or inconclusive. But now Ford, during a Ford event, showed this to us. So let's take a look at this truck, and then we'll show you also some of the other information we've gathered.
That's right.
So if we look closer, so first of all, let's look at the grille. Let's look at the front because you know me, I'm trying to be visual. And this appears to be standard 3rd-gen Raptor. I don't see any extra snorkels or nostrils or anything else. What do you think?
I think you're right. The intake probably is similar to the way it'd be set up with the twin turbocharged truck. However, I will say that it's dancing quite a bit on what looks like possibly a stiffer front suspension, which would make sense because, and we'll show you in a minute, we believe that this powertrain is heavier than the current one. But there's more.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, because currently, of course, you can buy a 3rd-gen Raptor with a twin turbocharged 3.5-liter high-output EcoBoost engine with 450 horsepower
Right.
and 510 pound-feet of torque.
Correct.
And if this is a V8, it will be heavier. And we'll get to that in a second.
Exactly, but show them the rear too. See if you can see a little, that's not, there you go. Look at the exhaust. Now, you can clearly see, it's pretty damn huge.
It's huge.
Huge. Yeah, so the setup behind there, I know some of you off-road freaks are going to be like, well, the departure angle, yeah, I know. But the whole point is that they're putting a lot of thrust through this. I mean, there's a lot of exhaust pouring out of it. So it makes sense that it would be a larger port, and indeed it is. So once again, we already have confirmation that it is indeed a V8, and we're speculating that it is indeed the one out of that Mustang. So,
Or a version of that,
a
right?
version of it, yeah. It may be detuned kind of the way the TRX was detuned a bit.
Or tuned differently.
Tuned
right?
differently,
Yeah.
perhaps for a more torquey, which makes sense with the truck. Those are most likely 37s, right?
Yeah, dude, and look, the tire has some squish because it has a lot of torque going through it, sideways too. We think this is a 37, and why? Well, because we have some other kind of leaked information.
Okay, so we're going to switch pages here. Why don't we show them that? And that's going to show you what we think about the powertrain, how heavy it is, and what the tires are. Here we go.
Yeah, so this is on TFLtruck.com. You can also get here from alltfl.com.
Right.
One-stop shopping. And according to the Raptor Connection, was an Instagram account, they were able to pull down this window sticker.
Now, it looks like a pretty legit sticker to me. It may not be, but I think it is.
Yeah, so, and we have some information here. Maybe we'll also kind of zoom into it on the screen for you. First of all, up here, 5.2 liter supercharged V8. Okay, that's
That kind of tells you everything.
Then 37 by 12 and a half R17 tire. Also 410 locking rear axle, makes sense. Gross vehicle weight 7,450, which is relatively heavy, dude.
Yeah, it's a beefy truck. And one of the things we believe is, what did we assume, 150 pounds more?
Yeah, so here's Ford.com. We're looking at the specifications and specifically this number. Let me highlight this for you. This number, 7,300 pounds, is the current gross vehicle weight rating for a Raptor on 37s with a V6. So 7,300, and we saw on that leaked document, which is unofficial still.
It is unofficial.
7,450. So
150 pounds extra is where we come from. And it makes a lot of sense because we are talking about a V8, so 2 more cylinders. It has a supercharger on it. It's a different type of powertrain. It's a different engine. So displacement, well, it's just a larger physical engine altogether. So it makes sense that it would have that extra weight. Also very possible that it has more beef holding it in terms of engine mounts and everything else, because we're talking about what could be potentially a torque monster.
yeah, we have some reports from some people in the know that it could have upwards of 800 horsepower. I mean,
800 plus horsepower. Now this is not official once again.
Okay.
I know it blows my mind too, but the point is that this comes from somebody who has got some inside information, so we can only assume. And it makes sense because Ford wouldn't want to come out with something lukewarm compared to Ram, right?
well,
But going over 100 horsepower more than Ram?
so yeah,
Holy crap.
So the Ram TRX currently is, which is also actually, well, not also, it's a 6.2 liter V8 with a supercharger, of course, 702 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah.
So if this is indeed a supercharged V8 Raptor R, the torque has to be up there too, right? Maybe more. If they're targeting upwards of 800 horsepower.
Right.
But yeah, this would be nuts. I cannot wait for this.
So here's where it could put the TRX on notice. Aside from the horsepower, which we do not have, well, we have very little confirmation. The Raptor, as it sits, is a much lighter vehicle in general compared to the TRX. That's because it has a mostly aluminum body.
Exactly.
And they've always gone for lightness, which always makes sense when you're talking about performance. The TRX is a heavier vehicle. We're assuming that they'll still, with the Raptor R, have a lighter vehicle. So even if it matches the horsepower, which I'm pretty sure they're going to go over the horsepower, but even if it matches it, potentially could be quicker because it's lighter.
I think Ford really wants to win some drag races. I know it's a silly way to measure off-road trucks,
I know.
but we love doing this, right?
We do.
You guys love watching it. You guys love doing it yourself, right? So having 2 trucks accelerate side by side is always fun.
Now, there's something very important to consider as well. If Ford does come out with something that puts out this much power, will TRX respond? Will Ram respond? I think they will, because they do have those powertrains that are sitting around that they could stuff in there, potentially.
Well, this is the golden age of internal combustion, dude.
If you think about it.
Because I just recently drove a supercharged Cadillac Escalade V.
Yes.
Which is GM's answer to some of these questions.
Yeah, but that engine needs to be in a pickup truck.
I know. GM, are you listening?
Of course they're listening. They're getting the heat from everybody, but the GM is not part of this story. So at the end of the day, by the way, what you're looking at here, this actually came from Mike Levine, who is an executive at Ford.
At the PR department, right? So this image, this was in January. So this is kind of, a very, very special military jet. What do you think this is?
It's like the Aurora jet, and super high performance, faster than an SR-71. And I think the whole point of this is showing it to be the fastest truck out there. Mike is not subtle when it comes to his pride in Ford, and I have a feeling that's exactly what he's trying to talk about here. As such, that's why he connected it, because he did this too.
Yeah, so he just published this is as far as planes are concerned. But I think this is kind of the same plane. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, but the Bronco Raptor and the F-150 Raptor, what do they have in common?
Well, they have, 37s is one. Twin turbocharging is another.
Right.
Yes.
So that's why those are on a different thing here, and that's why this is on a separate thing here.
V8 power.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
So we have a lot of speculation, but we do have some interesting clues, and then we have the official thing. You heard the truck. I'm pretty sure that was a supercharger. They said it's a V8, says it's a supercharged V8 on this. So this is all the information all compiled into one spot. We know it's coming, and we're pretty damn sure it's going to be an animal.
And also, they said it's going to be at least unveiled this year. So perhaps in the next few months. We still don't have information on the Ranger, the next Ranger, but we see prototypes, of course, like you. We see them running around.
Right.
So that may be still forthcoming, but everybody's waiting for this. It is the golden age of V8 true power.
And I can tell you all right now, I already hate Andre because most likely he will be going on that event, and he'll be driving it and having a good time and all that big stupid smile on his face.
But I'll try to bring it over here for you.
Please do. Thank you. All right, guys, please let us know what you think in the comments below. This is huge. It's a massive story for those of you, especially Ford fans, but anybody who loves a muscle truck. This is a super truck.
Yeah, and it should have plenty of clearance and plenty of capability to back up that engine as well. Cannot wait to match them up, really. TRX versus this.
Maybe we sold
everywhere.
the TRX too soon.
We'll get it. We'll get another one.
Yeah.
We'll have to.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys. alltfl.com is always one-stop shop for everything automotive right there.
See you guys.